Hello, it's Cecilia Towns, the Sporty Esquire, and you are here with me for another episode of Workin Women Wednesday, the series where I tell you the things that I've learned as an attorney, as an entrepreneur, as an athlete, to help you, excel in your career and in your personal lives. So today's topic is pulling directly from the headlines. If you were paying attention to your TV screen or even your mobile device, you know that over the weekend, Serena Williams faced Naomi Osaka for the Grand Slam, the U.S. Open. They met in the finals, and Osaka ended up being victorious. Kudos to her. But in the midst of the match, it sort of got sketchy, ugly, tense for Serena, as she was faced with a couple of, actually three, to be specific, kind of questionable calls from the chair umpire. She ended up speaking up for herself, and but in the process, she had a point, and then a game taken away from her. So, the headlines have been going off the charts about Serena and her reaction. And, just to be clear, I am team Serena owes nobody an apology. She should have absolutely stood up for herself and spoken up for herself. It might have been a distraction to Naomi, but all professional athletes are trained to focus and throw aside any possible distractions, which Naomi did. So I don't think Serena owes anybody an apology, and I really commend her for standing up for herself. But I also think that it's a teachable moment, because I think we all are faced at work, with our clients, whatever, with situations where we get some bad news, or we get a decision made at work that's gonna negatively impact us. And since we're all faced with that, I figure, let's talk about it. Let's figure out what are the lessons that Serena can tell us for how you should react, how you should conduct yourself, so that you eventually come out on top. So I got 4 pointers on how to handle a bad decision, unfavorable decision at work. So the first thing that you want to do is to take 10. And take 10 means take however long you need to take to compose yourself, so that at work you're not having an emotional meltdown. I think it was very clear from Serena's reaction that she did get emotional. Which is understandable. I mean, your adrenaline is pumping, but you don't have that luxury because you're not Serena Williams and you're not a professional tennis player. So you can't act like that, right? You have to take 10 minutes, compose yourself, and think about the situation. If you feel like you've been wronged, I think you should absolutely stand up for yourself. Or you think like a bad decision is being made, you should absolutely speak up, but you just need to do so after you take 10 minutes. I'm the queen of doing this. I get an email or a phone call from opposing counsel, or from my clients, or some of my coworkers, and I want to fly off the handle. What I do is I type the email probably about 20 times. I type the email how I initially feel, exactly what I want to say. And then I come back, and then I edit it, and I'll be like, that's still too harsh. So that's what you need to do. Whatever you need to do to compose yourself, maybe it's vent to another coworker, maybe it's vent to a colleague. Do that so that you can get your mind right. And then step 2 is to respond, but to respond professionally. I remember very vividly when I was first kind of starting out as an attorney. We lost a case, and somebody, I ain't gonna point no fingers or elbows, somebody tried to accuse Cecilia of being the reason that we lost. And I knew, as a matter of fact, I was 100% sure that it wasn't my fault, that it was somebody else's error in the way they made a legal argument that caused us to lose the case. But this individual tried to put me on blast, and I literally wanted to cuss her out at work in front of everybody, but I didn't. I took a deep breath. And what I did do was I responded to an email with everybody on it, where she accused me in front of the same people that she accused me of, a legal error. I wrote the email and addressed all of those people, including her, and I had my receipts. I had the paper trail showing that, hey, it wasn't my fault. The argument that I made was the correct argument. My argument was taken out. The paper trail was very, very clear. And so then I was able to vindicate myself. I didn't get in trouble because I didn't cuss anybody out. She sort of looked like the idiot for claiming this nice little girl had, sort of sabotaged an entire case. That didn't make me any less upset, I'll tell you that. But it did, I was able to defend myself without causing myself any harm. So that's what you have to do. Craft your response in a professional way. Save your receipts, because you never know when you'll have to roll the footage and let people know, hey, this decision or this statement, whatever, is incorrect, and I can prove to you why. So that leads me to the third thing is, part of the situation with me was I was still very uncomfortable around this person, and I felt uncomfortable about the situation. But what I had to do was step 3, and what Serena needed to do was to regroup, to try to say, okay, somebody tried to throw me off my game plan, or somebody did throw me off my game plan. I need to compose myself and get back on the plan. Get back with my strategy at work that has been working for me. Don't let this one unfavorable decision sort of deter you or distract you. And that's what I did at work in that situation. I said what I had to say. Everybody knew that I didn't mess up. And now it's got to go back to business as usual. That needs to be your mindset. And then the fourth step is that you need to actually move on. Now, moving on can happen in one or two ways. You can move on within the company, within the organization, with that client, continue to progress together, or you can literally say, you know what, y'all passed me up for this promotion. I've shown you, through my work product, through speaking up for myself, that I deserve the promotion. You're not going to give it to me. It's time for me to make my exit. You can move on in a number of ways, but just make sure that you're able to move on. If you can't let the situation go, you probably don't need to be there anymore. You need to work on the exit strategy. But if you can move on and believe that you can still be prosperous in that space, then by all means, let it go. Move forward. I think, part of the thing that sort of did Serena in was that it was very difficult for her to let go and move on from that situation. I mean, Naomi was playing her butt off. Let's not sort of suggest otherwise. But Serena's her head was just gone at that point. She was just too emotional about things. And so that absolutely can affect your future. So that is probably one of the most important parts of it, is that if you're going to move on, you need to learn how to let it go. But that's essentially it. If you're at work, you're dealing with clients, whatever, and you get a decision that is unfavorable, that you don't like, that sort of negatively impacts you, you know how to handle it now. You go ahead, you take 10, then you respond professionally, you regroup, reset yourself, and then you move on. This has been Cecilia Towns for another episode of Workin Women Wednesday. I hope you learned something. Maybe we get Serena to watch it. Maybe. But thanks for spending some time with me. Make sure you share, like, comment on the video, and I'll see you next week. Bye.